Hi guys, how are you all doing? If you're new here, my name is Rodian and today I'm going to show you how to corbel out underneath your brick on edge to finish off your pier nicely. So let's just jump straight into it. Right, so once you've got your pier up to the height that you are happy with, and from here you think, right, let's put the cap on here. How do we go about doing this? Right, first off you need to work out how much overhang you want on your pier. In this case we're just going to go for something nice and simple, probably a nice 20 mil. That's about 15, so yeah, we'll go with 20 mil, which looks good. Perfect. Now from here, what we're going to do is you have to pay attention to the bond. You don't want to put this brick here on top of this one because you have a straight-ish joint. So you stagger it over, bring it over that 20 mil. Now, when you come to put, let's get a good brick. When you come to put your brick on the end, evidently you're going to have a little cut here. That is expected, so just sort of putting it down here now like this just to show you before we start laying any bricks. So you just do it with your tape measure, just tape it around 20 mil all the way around. That can go in a fraction, so we're looking about there. Now this cut in here will be, that's 50 mil at the moment, so we'll have to have a 30 mil cut in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these four on first, cut those in afterwards, and then from there we are going to have our brick. Obviously it's going to be the other way around. We're going to have our brick and a half like that on top, and we're only going to have four, not five or anything like that, just four, and then we'll have a little bit of benching here. Right, so that's pretty much the size of what we're going to do. So I'm just going to put these first four in, and once you've got these in, you range them through like that, make sure they're nice and straight, then you put your cut in again, range it through, yeah, plumb it up if you want, but in all honesty, it's one brick, so as long as it's by eye, that's the way I've always done it. It's always been fine by me. So what we're going to do, we're going to just start throwing them in. If I feel like there is anything I need to talk to you about while I do it, as per usual, I shall explain as we lay through bricks. Now what I'll do is I will probably start at the back and work my way forward just so you can see the inside as well as the outside. Okay, so yeah, let's get going. As I have said before in other episodes, this will generally be filled up with either concrete or bricks, up to you which one you prefer. I did speak to you about what I prefer doing in previous videos, so if you haven't seen that, then you can go check it out. I'll leave it linked down in the description. So first off, I'll just tap that down. I'll walk over here with my tape measure and my level. Oh, Gary or Phil? Gary, I think. No. Yeah, Gary Neville and his big brother Phil. Always get them the wrong way around. So that's level there. Let's check it for the spacing. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have it 15 mil because I think that looks quite nice like that. A nice little gentle 15 mil. Perfect. Well, that was easy. First one's in. I'll level it over, I suppose. You shouldn't really level it over as opposed to plumbing it because the brick might be out. But in that case, well, it's hard to tell really. That'll do. Another brick in here. That's a bit too much muck. I'll steal a bit from there. You often find me flicking my muck down that hole. Take that as how you will. Flicking that muck down that hole. What a thing to say, Rodders. Right, anyway, enough of my mucky mind. So we will put that on like so. I'll tell you what, I'll put a bad one behind there. One that I haven't particularly cleaned up very well. That is a rough old brick, but you ain't going to see it on the camera, so this is all just for show, isn't it? So what we'll do, we'll level that over. Tap, tap, tap. Not too much so you get water out of it. It's especially prominent with these blooming bricks. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm changing the bricks by the way. For those of you who are long-term viewers, I'm going to get rid of these bricks after this video. We're going to have something different. 15, yeah, beautiful Bernard. That can go over a fraction. There we go, lovely jubbly. Right, from there, put a couple more in. because you're going to see this front one I'll use a nice brick. It's got a little bit of dirt on it, but I mean that doesn't bother me. That is the right way around, isn't it? Yeah. See, always check where you're putting it. Lovely. Check that for 15. I mean, you can gauge these up if you particularly want, but I don't really see the point. The tops are only decorative. These lips that I'm putting on here, I will explain to you once we've benched them up what they're for. That looks good for me. But apart from that, it's all just decorative, really. So, as long as the joints aren't monstrous, or, well, yeah, I mean, real skinny joints can be a bit of a pain as well, but as long as your joints are adequate, then I wouldn't worry about gauging them, because like I say, it's all just aesthetic, this. Right, let's put a nice brick in there, if I can find a nice brick. Have I got any nice bricks left? I mean, that one's average at best, but it'll do. There we go. Slinger in there. What's that one? It's almost 20mm. Tap that in. 10mm, 10mm, 15mm, 12mm. Straighten out with that. Tell you what, looks like I've done this before, isn't it? It's a bit out of level. That'll do. Beautiful Bernard. Right, now we need 1, 2, 3 cuts at 30mm. I'll cut them and come back to you. Right, once you have got the little cuts cut up nicely, all you do is you butt them up and plonk them in, basically. It's as simple as that, really. See, well, they seem a bit big, they do. Yeah, that one will go in there, lovely. Right, plonk that in like that, beautiful. Now when you tap them in, as you can probably see that, it could move it out of fraction. So you want to move it back. There we go, beautiful. And from there, level it through, push it out, not level it through, so range it through, push it out, and that's good. Basically do that with all 4 corners and you're off, mate. Trim that up a bit. That'll fit in there lovely. While I've got you all here, I had a comment on my last video, one of my previous videos, saying I talk too much. Now, the way that I see it is I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can, even whether it's just stuff that should be in my head, as in, oh, I should be doing this, doing that. Anyway, do I talk too much? Do you want me to shut up a bit more? Do you want me to continue telling you? Because the way that I see it is the only way you're going to learn is if I am forever telling you what I'm doing and the reasons behind what I'm doing. That's why I believe I'm quite the loquacious person. So let me know down in the comments, do you want me to talk as much as I'm talking, or do you want me to just shut up and lay some bricks? Let me know down in the comments, please. That would be greatly appreciated, thank you kindly. Right, so once we've got all these in, I'll tell you what I have done, I forgot to put my bit of slate in the middle, because I've now got a hole in the middle and I want to cap that off. Oh dearie me, what am I going to do? I don't know, I've talked some crap. Right, I guess I'll just patch it up with a bit of slate. Just stick it in there like that, that'll do. It's not like this is a forever thing. I will be knocking this down tomorrow. If I plonk that in like that, that should do. And fill it up with a bit of muck. Right, now once they're all on, while this plane's going overhead, I will just range them all through. Get them all in the right place. Like so. Right, I'm going to put a brick in that middle and bring it up to level while this plane goes over, so I'll be back in a sec. Right, so now that plane has gone, as you can see I've just filled this centre up with a bit of muck. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to put the top on top of that. So what I like to do is I just like to find the centre. Just mark it on there. And then we just sort of work out from the middle really. So I'm going to be putting that like there, and we are going to have a half brick on that side. I just like doing it this way so I can just get it right, because we want to make sure we don't see these frogs. That looks about right. And just set it out. There's 1, 2, and then get 2 more. Just to make sure that we get this right. Well, what am I saying about seeing the frogs? I'm going to bench it up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Tell you what, I don't know why I said that. Ignore what I just said and have it however you see fit, because this edge we're going to bench up with some muck. So make sure you get them nice and in the correct spacings. That looks good to me. And then I just like to mark that off there as well, where I can. And then there. Basically in line with that there. Right, okay, cool. So once you've pretty much got a few little guidelines out where you want to go, like I say, I like to start in the middle sort of, so we'll start with that one there. Bit of muck on that. And start chucking them in again. Always remember to fill up your frog. So I've still been looking around for the reasons of why it's called a frog. I come up with something interesting that I found. Apparently the indent in a horse's hoof, the bit where you put the horseshoe round it, the indent bit, apparently that's called a frog. Apparently that's another reason where another place where it comes from. In all honesty, I don't think anyone bloody well knows why it's called a frog, because the amount of different people I've spoken to who have got the amount of different opinions about where it's come from, I think it's one of those sort of myths. I reckon it's not called a frog at all. I reckon someone came to work one day, found a frog in it, went, oh look, that's a frog. They were like, what? And that's pretty much where it came from, I reckon. I ain't got a clue, mate. I'll tell you what, that geezer was right. I think I do talk a bit too much. Right, so we'll get that about 10 mil. I could tape it, but I'm just doing this for aesthetic reasons, so I'm not going to tape it. That looks good to me. It's probably about 10 mil, give or take. Make sure that's level, which it is. That was a good old guess, that, wasn't it? Tell you what, that looks good to me. Right, now I'll put the one on this side and then I'll come forward. Just so you can see how it's doing. Bit of ambidextrous left-hand trowel action. Yeah, do you want me to shut up or not? Plus next door got their bloody strimmer out, so I thought it might be an idea for me to talk over that. You don't want to hear a strimmer going off. Buttering up that brick, ready to go in. I spoke to you last bricklaying for beginners episode, about buttering up to do brick on edge. So you just do the same thing, plonk that in, Cool. My back's feeling a bit twingy today. Let's make sure that's right. How are we looking on that? Come down a bit, really. That's good. Then over this way, can come down. Right, quick question while I'm tapping away at this. Once I pick my brick up. So all of you watching, are any of you fussed what sort of resolution I upload my videos in? 4K, 1080, 720, are you bothered? Or are you just here just clicking on the videos and you don't really give a hoot what resolution I put it up in? Please let me know down in the comments, that'd be interesting to hear. Just because I was shooting everything in 4K, and I'll tell you what, it ain't enough tune-up space on my hard drive. So I'm just wondering, are you going to miss it? Have you even noticed that I've been uploading them in 4K? So yeah, let me know down in the comments, please. That'd be a bit greatly appreciated. So that doesn't look right. That's a bit too much. So let's push that in. That's better. That joint was getting a bit more than 10mm, so just had to adjust that. I'll probably go over and adjust all these again once I'm done, just because they might move around a little bit, as bricks often do when you're laying them. Give them a couple of minutes and come back to them, and they sort of pay a bit more attention to what you're doing, as in they listen to you. Right, coming forward with these now. Remember, when you're doing brick on edge, always have a little gap like I did there, so that when you press that brick down, that muck's got somewhere to go. Right, it's got a corner out, really. I'll put that, no, I better put that in there, but I'll put it in that way around. I'll hide that break. I bet this muck falls out of this when I do this. And it didn't. I thought that muck was going to fall out then. Plonk that in there. There's a bit of a gap in there. I have to tuck point a little bit of muck in there afterwards. But that's the least of my worries at the moment. Not bothered about that. Yeah, as opposed to me talking all the time, I'm just trying to give you my, I'm sort of talking my thoughts so that you know what's going through my head whilst I'm making these videos. I just feel like it's interesting for you to hear what my thought process is, so that you sort of almost know why I'm doing certain things, make certain decisions. But yeah, like I said, let me know if I'm waffling on too much. I'll probably keep waffling on if you say I am waffling on too much, because, well, no. So yeah, I might stop waffling. No, you ain't ever going to stop me waffling, so. That in there. I think that's a bit more than 10mm again, but we'll adjust that momentarily. A lot of time with brickwork, especially things like this, you get it basically there until you get the whole lot on, then you level it all up. That's always worked for me. And then because you can cross it over and make sure you get it nice and level at all angles. Some people like to have them rolling down, but I think flat is good enough, and just the pointing, the half round tool pointing all the water should run off through that way. So you don't really need to have it going either way, but it's up to you. You can if you want. I mean, there's no one out there to say you can't do that. There's no one out there to say you can't build it plumb either. You can build it as wobbly as you want if that's something you really want to do. So that'd be interesting. I suppose then you'd have a twisted pier really, wouldn't you? Right, let's try and find a decent brick. Give that a bit of a clean up. I'll tell you what, that looks okay. Use the old trusty jumper to clean the brick. I have got a wire brush down there, but I don't really want to destroy it, so that'll do. Plonk a load in there. None of that. Butter it up. Butter it up a good one. And then we shall dump that right there. Beautiful. That suits me. Suits me down to the ground. I probably could have opened these joints up a bit because there's a bit more than 20mm on either end, but the reason why it does that is because, as you noticed in the last video, there's a cut in the middle if you put them up nice and tight, and that'll be that cut. So it's going to be a little bit different these ways because you want the 10mm, but it doesn't, unless you've built it, you ain't ever going to notice, in all honesty. Well, when I finish, I'll probably show you what I mean. Right, there we go, and now we put the last one in. And it is a little bit dirty. I do apologise most profusely for the dirty brick I'm about to put in here. Get the old magic jumper out. I'm not going to spit on it. I'll tell you what, I will. Does that clean it up much? Oh, I'm buffing a brick. What has the world come to? I just put my mucky hand on it, so that was a waste of time. Anyway. Right, clean my hand before I do that, and I'll butter her up. And then we'll put, oh, a little bit of knuckle now, I reckon, about there. That'll do. From there, get that last brick in there, and then from there, now we're going to go around and level a whole lot up. Get a looking fandabby-dozy. There's a few little lumps here and there that I like to get out of. I'll tell you, that's level. So I'll tap that down, and then that. Okay, cool. How's that? That's a bit high. So tap that down, and then we'll go the other way. What's that saying? Again, that's high that side. That brick there, that's done. How about that? That's bang on. How about that? Bang on. Bang on. I'll tell you what, that's pretty good. And that way it's level, and that way it should be level. Ta-da! Right, now what we're going to do? Oh yeah, let's range it round. We've got to get it looking nice, haven't we? Get it looking beautiful. Could tap them in a little bit. That side's okay. That side. There we go, lovely. Right. Now we'll bench this up and point it. So I'll do that quickly before this muck starts seeping all over the gaff. Because regulars to the channel know that these bricks and this muck is dreadful this time of year. Right, back in a minute with my trowel. Right, I've got my trusty pointing trowel here. Now we're just going to go around and bench this up. Benching, flaunching. What do you guys call it? Benching, flaunching? I'm sort of, I suppose I call it both really. I think this is flaunching, and when you do it in a drain or something like that, that's benching. Correct me if I'm wrong. So all you do is you get a little bit of muck on your trowel, like so. And then with your pointing trowel, just scrape up a little bit like that. In fact, that's probably too much. And then all you do is you just push it on like that. Now, when you do this, don't do it out of just mortar. I would suggest doing a mix of sharp sand and building sand, and probably somewhere in the region of 3 to 1. Purely because when you come to doing in a drain, underneath a manhole or something like that, you do benching in there. You do it out of sharp sand and soft sand so that it doesn't crack. Now, because it's going to have water going all over it. Now, because this is the point which is probably, well, the whole thing's going to be against the elements, but the rain, the idea of this is the rain will come down, dribble down here, dribble off here, almost like weatherstruck pointing, dribble down here, down the brick and drip off the end. So the whole main pier doesn't get wet. But obviously you have driving rain and that doesn't always work, but that is the idea of it. Plus additionally, it looks good. So you just go around the whole job then, go around the whole pier, just do that around the whole thing. And it comes up looking quite nice. So I will do the other side that you can see, and then I'll do the other two. Well, no, then I'll point the top, and then I'll do the other two off camera and show you what it looks like when it's done. When I do this, I like to have the benching come up probably about 5mm over the bottom of the brick, over the bottom of the brick on the top of the pier. Cool, that's a sentence. So there's no ingress of water underneath that brick, which gives it a chance to freeze and pop off and destroy your lovely pier that you just spent an hour long building. So I would suggest doing the same. And you go over in one clean motion and that comes up absolutely lovely. Apart from that end bit, which I didn't do. So one motion, nice and clean. Cut off all the excess. And there we go, I smudged it. What a Toby. Right, now that we've benched that over, get your jointing iron, which this one is actually a little bit rusty. I'll tell you what, and also I need to push that in. Let me go and get my pointer. Right, one lovely tuck pointer. For those of you who are interested, there are links down in the description to all the tools that I use in this video and all videos. So if you are interested in having a butcher's, then go down there and have a look. They are Amazon affiliate links. So if you do decide to buy something through there, I do get a little cut, which helps me on this channel, but it doesn't cost you anything extra whatsoever. Amazon give me the money, and I'll tell you what, no, that should be enough. Yeah, Amazon just give me a little kickback, so it doesn't cost you anything extra. I tried to hunt around and find the best prices that I could. So yeah, if you are interested, now have a quick butcher's down there. I was about to say have a quick butcher's downstairs, but well, depending on where you're watching this, you might have it downstairs. This goes back to the thing, I'm talking a load of crap. But I'll tell you what, so far I haven't had any outtakes. And I know in the last video I said 2020 is going to be rife with outtakes. I'll tell you what, I might be wrong. But saying that, going by my track record, I don't know if I make some mistakes and talk a load of crap. So maybe I'll put all this in the outtakes. Me wobbling on. I don't know, I like talking to you guys. I know it may take a few hours for you to talk back because you're not in front of me, you're on the other end of a computer or a phone or whatever, but I don't know, I like having a chat with you guys, I like it, it's nice. I haven't spoken to you in a couple of weeks, like since the holiday. Since the holiday? Yeah, holiday. The winter holiday. Do you call it a holiday? Did anyone go on holiday over Christmas? That's what I was trying to say, Christmas. So yeah, I think it's nice having a little chat with you lot. I quite look forward to it. Probably hence why I don't have to waffle on a lot. But I'll tell you what, I guess that's just me. An old gas bag. Just banging on about everything. I'll tell you what, I had a lovely Christmas. Nice quiet one. I didn't drink too much. Nice bottle of red wine. I thought that was lovely. Yeah, was it red wine? I'll tell you, I had a bit of bubbles as well. Yeah, it was lovely. Nice bit of Christmas dinner. I'll tell you what, I reckon since I had that comment saying I talk too much, I think I've purposefully just waffled on just to say, do you know what? It's my channel, I could do what I want, so I am going to waffle on. So yeah, I might have lost a few subbies through it, but I'll tell you what, I enjoy it. So that's all that matters really. As long as I enjoy doing this, hopefully all of you guys are going to enjoy watching. I do feel like we need a little catch up. Had that video I put up yesterday. Depending on when this video goes out, this one might go out on Saturday actually, because it is sort of getting a bit late and I've got to go. I've got to be somewhere well, I'm supposed to have been there in 15 minutes, but there's no way I'm going to get there in 15 minutes. Anyway, you don't need to hear my troubles and tribulations, do you? All you want to do is learn how to put a cap on your pier, which hopefully you have learned. So let's point that in nicely. Look at that. Tell you what, this muck's behaving itself today a bit more. Yeah, it's not as dribbly. I wonder why that is. But the only trouble is I'm not going to be able to brush this. So I tell you what, you lot are probably seeing this on Saturday, because it's going to be miles too wet to rub it to brush it off today. So what I'll do is I'll point it up, and I will come back for you in a minute, but it'll be tomorrow for me, and I'll brush that off as best I can. At least it will give it a little bit of time to go off, because this bottom was built well before Christmas and that's still bloody soaking wet. So anyway, right, that's that. Let's get these last little bits done. I'll tell you what, you've seen that bit there. Let's get this bit done over here. And I'll go off and do what I've got to do and come back to you guys in the morning. So let's just, excuse me, let's just do this on camera. Hopefully you guys don't mind me putting this up on Saturday rather than, well, for me tonight, Friday. So I'll work my way around this bloody muck situation. So what did you all do over Christmas? Let me know. I'll be interested to hear. Like I say, I like having a chat with you lot. You're a good bunch. I'll tell you, I am thankful for everyone who's turned up, who's subscribed. I had a few new subs over Christmas, so if you subbed over Christmas, thank you very much for popping along. Hope you're enjoying the stuff that I do. But yeah, let me know what you've been up to. Who got what for Christmas? Did anyone get their 2 front teeth for Christmas? And that lump of lime in there. It feels weird me not talking. Right, there we go. What I'll do is I will leave that like so I don't smudge the ever-loving bejesus out of it, and I will come back to this tomorrow, scrape it off, brush it up, and we should be all good. So I'll tell you what, I'll see you guys back here bright and breezy tomorrow morning. So for you in a minute, but me a couple of hours. Right, see you later. See you in the morning. Ta-ra, toodle pip, cheerio. Right, it's the next day, guys. I have finished pointing it up. Everything is still really wet. Again, I'm going to stop moaning at this lime mortar and just change the way I do things from now on. But here we go, we have it finished. A nice little step out, little 15mm step out with a brick on edge on top. Gone with the 4 rather than the 5, well, the 4 and a cut to finish over this nice and square. I think it looks quite nice, and it is a very good way of, like I say, getting out of putting a cut in the top, because you only have to put 4 in, you bench up the sides, flaunch up the sides, and it does step in, but it looks quite nice. So that is, I would probably say, the best way to get round putting a cut in the top, like I showed you last episode. So I'd say this is the best way of doing it, plus I think it looks better. So Hopefully you all learnt something and have enjoyed it. So please leave a like down below if you have, subscribe if you aren't already, ring that notification bell to be notified every time I upload a video, and I will see you guys next episode. So take care and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.